There we are back live from London. This is Rona Elliot of the Source Radio Network with the Wild Boys themselves, Nick Rhodes and Simon Le Bon of Duran Duran. And is there something I should know off their live arena LP? Why'd you go with a live album?
Well, I think the thing was we spent as a band about 6 months touring last year, and we did a very extensive tour of America and the rest of the world, and we really felt that it should be represented in some way. We've only released 3 studio albums so far, and we did a lot of those numbers live, but we really felt that they sounded very different. We had a much bigger band, percussionist, saxophonist, stroke pianist, 2 female backing vocalists, and we were really pleased with the way it turned out on the live album.
That time we came up with something with some energy.
All right, and we'll be back with more energy and Duran Duran, Simon and Nick after this. Welcome back. We're live from London at Abbey Road. I'm Rona Elliot on the Source Radio Network with Simon Le Bon and Nick Rhodes of Duran Duran. During the record, we were just talking about the great tradition there is of musicians to gather together and make a contribution during a world crisis, and this has certainly been the case over the last couple of days in England. Some of the greatest rock stars in England have gotten together and recorded Do They Know It's Christmas, a song which I will now let Simon and Nick talk about.
Yeah, there's an incredible thing happened. I mean, there was people coming from all over the world to do this at the drop of a hat, literally. I mean, we'd known about it for a week or two before.
We're talking about the Ethiopian famine.
The Ethiopian famine. There was people, there was me, Sting, Boy George, there was George Michael, Paul Weller, Bono from U2, Paul Young. The list just goes on and on and on. Bob Geldof arranged it. He was the one with the brainwave. And it's a very potent symbol, I think, for Ethiopia, like saying you can actually do something about it.
And all the money goes to a newspaper here that funnels it directly to a private voluntary feeding organization in Ethiopia.
That's right. There's the Band-Aid Fund. The band's called Band-Aid. All the record companies involved are not taking any percentages. All the shops who are selling it aren't. So for every record that gets sold, for £1.30 in this country, £1 goes to charity, and we're going to try and get it off the ground all over the world, this record.
Right, and we will be premiering Do They Know It's Christmas a little bit later in the show. It'll be the American premiere. It got played on the BBC for the first time today, so you'll be hearing it first here. How about... Go ahead. Right,
I mean, I was just want to say, it's your chance to do something about something of which we know means a lot to people.
Right, this is something that you can do, can make a difference. Moving on to a slightly lighter subject. One of the things about Duran Duran that people always want to know is about the explosion of your career over the last couple of years.
You made the explosion of our TV screen on the video.
Right, there goes Nick's head exploding.
Nick, get back in the cage.
You said you wanted to dominate the world in 1984, probably dominate the music scene. What did you mean by that? And then have you lived up to your expectations?
We actually meant world domination in the true sense of the form. We've tried. I think we're running a little bit behind schedule. 2 minutes, Nick.
Right, yeah, 45 seconds to tell us about your domination
45
complex.
Seconds to dominate the world. We'll do it. We will do it.
We're currently taking over Europe, actually. We didn't tour Europe last time. We did Australia, Japan, America, England, Canada, but we didn't do Europe, and the reason being that we seem to have broken out in a lot of places all around the world, but not really anywhere in Europe. And just suddenly with the Reflex and the Wild Boys, that seems to have broken out. And so we've got South America left yet.
Good.
Yeah,
well,
we did it right. We didn't invade Poland.
We did not invade Poland, but we're about to invade Hungry Like the Wolf. Tell me a line or two about it.
A line or two. Hungry Like the Wolf is a song about about the animals that are actually living inside people. Like this one. And it's a song about how much like the jungle the city is.
Okay, the jungle and the city. Take it away.
Oh.
Live from London at Abbey Road Studios, I'm Rona Elliot with Simon Le Bon on the first howl. Simon, take it away, howling. And Nick Rhodes of Duran Duran. We're playing you cuts from their new album, Arena. And over the next 45 minutes or so, you'll hear that, and as well as a lot of outrageous conversation.
Noises.
And strange noises, and improvisational music, and howling, and...
Improvisational music is actually taking it a bit far,
Okay, one of the things about being a worldwide rock and roll star that people always wonder is what it's actually like to have life on the road.
The wildest story.
The wildest story that you can tell on sanitized American radio.
You mean the spanking party?
No, you can't talk about them.
The swimming pool parties?
The swimming pool parties.
The snowball parties in New York?
No, so, give me an example of some of the kind of outrageous things that happen.
It's not, we're very nice on the road. It's the people who follow us around are the ones who actually do the things. One night we were playing in Reno, got into the dressing room and lifted up the tablecloth on which the rider was sitting on, all the food they put in the dressing room, and we got 3 little young fans rolled out there. And they'd been there for 3 or 4 hours listening to what we've been talking about. I mean, we said, far out, man.
Did you give them autographs?
Autographs.
You gave them autographs?
Yeah, we gave them
Okay, this was a big hit in America. Tell me about Union of the Snake.
Well, this is a song off this Evan and the Ragged Tiger album, and now a song on the Arena album. It's something to do with Kundalini, isn't it, Simon?
Well, I thought it was, but I've changed my mind now. I think it's just a pretty sexy song.
Tell us about your Kundalini.
You want to hear about the Kundalini? Listen to this one.
Okay, we're live from London on the Source Radio Network here at Abbey Road. I'm Rona Elliot with Simon LeBon and Nick Rhodes of the wonderful Duran Duran. You say it differently than we do in America. We say Duran Duran, and you say Duran Duran.
Well, it's worse than in France. They call us Duran Duran.
Duran Duran, like in Barbarella. It's very exciting. We went and sent our man in London, Mal Redding, our Source correspondent, out in the streets of London from Trafalgar Square to Piccadilly into record stores to find out what Duran Duran fans here would like to know from you. Literally, he pounced upon people who bought Duran Duran albums. So, Simon, this first question is for you. We asked a woman as she was buying Arena, what would her question be for you if she had the chance to ask one?
Okay.
What does he think about criticism from the press and other bands?
Okay,
I didn't catch that.
What's your response to criticism from the press and from other bands?
Well, I don't respond to it, actually. I think we just, take it with a pinch of salt, like everything else. I mean, it depends whether if you believe what the newspapers say or not. I personally don't. I've seen a lot of things in there that are true and a lot of rubbish, too. Okay,
second question. This chap just had a general question about Duran Duran's future.
We'd like to know what the different fields they're going into. Like photography and filming and directing films and different things.
Okay, you have a high profile.
I think he answered it there, actually.
What are your immediate plans?
Covered it. Well, immediately we're involved in a full-length feature film, which we're currently sort of editing, and that will be out sometime around June. And we've just done a documentary, which is for television, 1 hour long, called Sing Blue Silver, and 1.5 hours on video cassette. And future plans, we're going to do another album, and we're going to tour the whole world next year.
Don't forget the Bond theme. Oh yes, we're doing the James Bond.
Oh, that's hot.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay, but now to the last question. We trapped someone directly under a speaker in a record store, and this is...
It must be very uncomfortable for them, but they squat.
Mal's still there holding them. Okay, and this is the most frequently asked question of Duran Duran.
What gives them the ideas to make so good videos?
What gives you the ideas for so good videos?
All our ideas come to us free in cornflakes packets.
How rude. Okay, it sounds good to me. And along with that, one of the ideas that you'll be listening to right now will be introduced right now by the Duran Rhythmic Bunny, even as we speak and getting ready for this live radio show.
Hey, Duran Rhythmic Bunny, take it away.
Nick and Simon have created some programming. Debut music by Nick and Simon, which we're turning the volume up even as we speak, which they're going to do some impromptu rapping to.
Well, I don't know, rapping.
Live on the Source.
You're over there. We're here today. We're live across the USA. Station to station, coast to coast. You must be listening to The Source!
Live in London at Abbey Road Studios. I'm Rona Elliot on the Source Radio Network.
I'm from Duran Duran.
With the fabulous Simon LeBon and the exquisite Nick Rhodes of Duran Duran. And Nick is standing in front of his Fairlight CMI, and he's about to play some impromptu things for us, to which none of us are willing to be held accountable in case it's the end of their career. We're looking for some power here, but there we go.
Got me in the leg, that one did. I'll put it back. Where's the dogs?
It's just a few kids outside, nothing
Yeah,
serious.
they didn't break the windows.
That's it. Done now.
That's the end.
That's it. He's got it out of his system.
Okay, now we will be taking calls from
Okay,
America.
Nick, you can get back in the box now.
And just back into the box. Okay, we'll be taking calls from America. And the first call is from Lori in New Orleans, and that's our first call from America. Okay, let's hear
New
from...
Orleans, what a great place.
New Orleans. Okay, let's hear from Lori.
Hi.
Hi, Lori. Do you want to talk to Simon or Nick or both of them?
Well, it would be nice to talk to both, but I'd like to talk to Nick.
Okay, Nick, first one is for you.
Okay, Laurie.
Okay, how you doing?
Oh, good. Really good.
That's-
Weather's good, too.
What's your question, Lori?
I wanted to ask you a question about your Fairlight. We did an article in a keyboard magazine down here.
Yeah.
And you talked a lot about it. How much of it is actually used in a live show?
Quite a lot, actually. As much as that we use on the records, what we do is sort of record it first in the studio, and then I usually put down several parts, so I have to decide which ones are my favorite ones and which ones I'm actually going to play during the live show. But it is, in fact, very easy to operate, and people that say that it's really complicated and you really shouldn't take it on tour, it's all a load of rubbish. We took it on the entire world tour last time, and it was great.
Okay, Lori?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Next call is from my part of the world. Christine from La Costa, California in Southern California. Hi, Christine. How's the weather? Can you hear us, Christine?
Yes, I can.
Good. Who's the call for?
Simon.
Okay, Simon.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay, Christine, what's your question?
In an interview, they said that you, when you were younger, used to paint soldiers on your windowsill to keep the demons away. How did you get that idea?
Oh, boy.
Christine, first thing is, don't
My
believe
mother's been
everything
talking
you
to the
read.
press again. It's true. No, I did. I used to paint like little soldiers. It was for the, you put them into games and things. And I was always into the sort of military things. And I saw a film once, and it really frightened the life out of me. It wasn't really a demon. It was a wolf man who climbed up the side of somebody's house. And I thought that if I put my teddy bear there, and about 5 special soldiers that I painted, and a banana man, that it'd keep them away, you see.
Okay,
Why, do you have the
Christine.
same problem?
Yeah.
Okay, Christine, thanks for your call. Our next call is from Minnesota, from Mort Lake, Minnesota, where it's probably
Minnesota.
very cold right now. Okay, Sabrina, hi. You're on The Source with Simon and Nick. Who's your question for?
Actually both.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just wondering what they really think of American hard rock, like Twisted Sister and Iron Maiden and all that stuff.
Christine, you have asked the question. No one else had the courage to ask.
I think that, talking personally, hard rock isn't one of my favorite sorts of music, but, I mean, some of the groups are very good at what they do. I mean, bands like Iron Maiden, I know, are very successful, and I don't listen to them at home, but, I mean, good luck to them.
Is ZZ Top hard rock?
No.
They're not.
They're just great.
They are, aren't they?
They are
Brilliant,
so
brilliant videos and brilliant furry guitars. Wow!
Okay, Sabrina, anything else?
I would just like to say that I really love them, and I hope they come to Minnesota pretty soon.
Hey, we're coming to see you pretty soon. Don't worry about it. We'll be over.
Thanks for calling, Sabrina. You're listening to the Source Radio Network live from London. Our next call is from Andrea in St. Paul, Minnesota. Hi, Andrea.
Hello!
Andrea?
Andrea, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Andrea, who's your call for, Simon or Nick?
Simon.
Okay, go for
Hi,
it.
Andrea.
It's for Simon.
Okay,
Simon.
go ahead.
Hi.
Andrea, you got to talk. Now's your chance.
Okay. I recently saw the video.
I think we're going to wind Andrea up a bit.
Okay. Andrea, we're going to put you on hold for a second here, and we're going to go to Charlene, who's calling from Deer Park, New York. Hi, Charlene. Can you hear us?
Hello?
Okay, everyone out there, you're listening to the
Charlene's
Source.
got a sore throat, Savannah.
Yes, I can.
Charlene, okay, there you go, Charlene. Who'd you like to talk to?
I'd like to talk to Nick.
Okay, go for it.
Hi, Charlene.
Nick, I have a friend named Rosemary, and she's really in love with you. She wants to know about Julianne Friedman.
Yeah. She's someone that I married recently.
I think
did?
Nick's madly in love with
Seriously?
her.
What?
You really married her?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Oh,
Well, I'm not,
okay,
actually. I'm
thanks
quite
a lot.
happy, really.
Okay, you're listening to the Source Radio Network. We're live from London at Abbey Road. If you want to call us, the numbers from the U.S. are 1-800-223-4141. We'll now go to Indiana, Evansville, Indiana, and Clarissa's on the line. Hello, Clarissa.
I would please like to talk to Darling Nick.
Darling Nick, I said the same thing.
Hello, darling Clarissa.
What can we do for you, Clarissa?
Okay, I'd like to ask you two questions. First, how is Andy's baby? What is it and what's its name?
What's what? Sorry?
Andy's baby and what's his name?
Andy's baby.
Yes,
Andy's
is it a girl or
baby's.
boy, and what's its name?
It's a boy, and he's called it Andy Jr. after his uncle.
own name.
Okay, you are live from London at Abbey Road Studios with Simon LeBon and Nick Rhodes.
And we've got live from Lagonda, California. Susan on the
Laguna,
phone.
it's the surfing capital of the world. I'm from
sorry,
California.
I thought it was Lagonda, actually, Aston Martin.
That's right, we were looking at it in the window last night, a big red one. We're taking a call from Susan in Laguna, California.
Hi.
Hello, Susan.
Yes. My question is for both of you. And I would like to know if the song Wild Boys is related to you. Is it a song about you?
Yes, Susan, it's kind of about us. There's one line of it which is about us in a funny kind of way. It's the line, they tried to break us, looks like they'll try again. But apart from that, we don't really think we're Wild Boys. The Wild Boys are a kind of figment, as I just ate the chair there.
He's biting his knuckle now. Stop it, Nick.
No, cannibalism's a bit far off.
He's biting his knuckle, controlling
The
himself.
Wild Boys are a kind of figment of our imagination. It's a very dangerous world they live in. And Rona, really, what did you have for dinner?
Go ahead, you wild thing.
The Wild Boys are people who have to survive in a very tough, a very dangerous world. It's a kind of warning, really.
Okay, you're listening to The Source, live from London, from Abbey Road Studios.
This is the tomato sauce.
Here are those wild boys. Wild woman Rona Elliot of The Source, fortunate enough to be here with these wild men.
All her clothes. Oh my God!
I'm here with Simon LeBon and Nick Rhodes of Duran Duran, or if we were in France, Duran Duran. And during the progress of this program, we've been talking to you about the Fairlight and a lot of strange noises. So for those of you who might have tuned in a little bit late, we'll explain what some of these noises are. Take it away, Nick.
Really, I just thought I'd bring my Fairlight to the studio with me. It's my companion. It just does everything. It talks to me, you see, when nobody else will talk to me, it talks to me.
Books a seat for it on the plane when we travel abroad. And it gets very embarrassing sometimes when the stewardess can't get an answer about what he wants to drink.
It's a computer screen and a keyboard and a computer keyboard, and you can just about put anything into it. And so we have now snuck in
into national computers.
And we've snuck in these messages, but we'll be back after this. Welcome back. You're live with us, the Source Radio Network, live from Abbey Road in London. I'm Rona Elliot, and privileged to be sitting with Simon LeBon and Nick Rhodes.
We didn't say that with the checks in the post, didn't we?
No, there's no checks here. And we're going to turn to a serious note now. We talked about it a little earlier in the program, and we're about to debut for you in a few minutes from now a song called Do They Know It's Christmas? And this is the English rock community's response to the famine in Ethiopia. Simon and Nick will be describing how it came about, but most of you are probably aware that there's been a severe famine in Ethiopia and that tens of thousands of people are dying each day. And in the great tradition of English musicians, they got together with a group called Band Aid and recorded the song Do They Know It's Christmas? And Simon and Nick will now tell us who got involved in the song.
Well, involved was people like, there was Bob Geldof, he's from the Boomtown Rats. He really got the whole project off the ground, and that was a very important thing. It was his baby, it was his brainchild. He called up me, he called up Sting, he called up
Paul Young,
Paul Weller,
Boy George,
you're telling them all for me. Bono from U2, there was the Status Quo were there, Bananarama, Johnny Fingers on piano, and it was an incredible thing really, because under one roof so many egos squeezed in there, put aside their pride and did something which really meant a lot to them and to the people around. And it's a really positive thing to do. It's positive for music in the first place, because it's like saying you can actually do something about it. And I really honestly hope it does a positive thing for those people who are dying of hunger there.
So the records go on sale and the profits go?
The profits go direct to the starving kids in Africa. I think the thing that's most important of all, though, I mean, this hopefully will raise at least a couple of $1 million towards what they need. But I mean, that's only the tip of the iceberg, and the reason I think everybody did it was to draw to people's attention the fact that this is happening and that it takes very little to help those people from all of us that are a little more fortunate. And I hope that people will buy this record and make it successful and think about those kids, and we'll take it further afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that little effort that counts. Just that it's all very well sitting there watching the TV and the news and saying, oh, isn't it terrible, but then turning over to watch something else and forgetting all about it. This way, people have a chance to actually do something about it and to help people, and I just hope somebody
this is the American debut of Do They Know It's Christmas. It is not available yet in the States on sale. It will probably be within the next week or so. Do They Know It's Christmas? The American debut of Do They Know It's Christmas. It's a beautiful effort by all those singers.
It's sad. It makes me shiver, man.
It's the first time you've heard the finish.
Yeah, the first time I've heard it.
It's Do They Know It's Christmas. The proceeds from the sale of all the records in England and then in America go to probably the private voluntary organizations, the feeding organizations for the famine in Ethiopia. So please go out and buy that record and do everything you can.
Trevor Horn's going to come up with a 12-inch in a short while for that. It's going to be even bigger. I've got to say a few more names. There's Marilyn, there was Phil Collins. Thanks to everybody who helped with it.
Do They Know It's Christmas? Famine in Ethiopia. It's Christmas season. Everyone can afford to be generous. Thank you, Simon and Nick, for being with us this afternoon, and thank all of you all across America. Duran Duran will see back on the road sometime in mid-85.
Yeah, I think probably sometime around August.
And we can expect a 1-hour TV documentary and a 90-minute feature film.
A book of words and a book of pictures, too.
Okay. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Nick. And Duran Duran was brought to you by Agree Shampoo and Conditioner. They give your volume, hair, and softness. They give your hair volume and softness. And Levi's 501 Jeans, thank you for being with us. And we want to thank everyone who was involved in bringing you Duran Duran live from Abbey Road, the Wild Boys themselves, Thirsty Air Communications, Peter and Donna Gordon for their production, Jody Miller, JLM Public Relations at Tritech, Val James and Peter Barrow, NBC London Bureau, Mike Batho, Mal Redding, Tinks Curtis, Dave Guyan at Abbey Road, Jim Jones, Peter James and Colin Johnson, and for their contribution, Andy Denmark as producer at NBC in New York, Stu Walther, Ray Weiss. Yes, Simon?
And we'd like to thank everybody in America for listening to us, and thanks to the Source Radio Network for letting us use up their airwaves. Thank you very much.
Airwaves belong to everyone. Frank Cody, executive producer, thanks to Jennifer Belande, Jamie Marks, Jim Pettigrew. Welcome on board, Willard. Happy holidays, Betsy, Torres, Chuck Schwartz, our technical staff, and thank all of you for being with us and Duran Duran. I'm Rona Elliot from The Source.
Oh, excellent special. This is Kira